Okay, great, we're recording. So, to catch up, we've been talking about blog posting, when it is good to do blog posting, who's been doing it, and when it's useful. What I've been saying is, in my experience as working as an IT recruiter, that the only time I've seen that might be useful is when it comes down to two different candidates, where the hiring manager might look into each candidate's different blogs. Normally, hiring managers don't get that specific with different candidates. But as far as the tech community goes and making connections among people, I think blog posts can be very helpful. So as we go through this, and I think Flatiron has a very good structure as far as for each project that we do, writing a blog post to go along with each project. If we share it out with the community, kind of giving a synopsis or just something to go along with the project, that gives kind of like another hook in our local community or just online community. It doesn't have to be local, it can be global. And I mean, just like the technology today, it just really helps you connect with people. And something as simple as just publishing a blog post can inspire people so much. Have any of you had anything like that happen to you? Have any of you gotten responses on any of your blog posts so far that have really made you proud of what you've written, or think about what you've written, or just respond to the person, had a deeper kind of conversation about what you've written? So Wendy said she's gotten responses from the Flatiron team, but she's not sure if they do it just to motivate us, just to keep us like, hang in there.
I don't know, because I've never heard from them on any of mine, so they probably did really enjoy it if they sent you something. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone else really hearing from them.
Steven's asking, is it possible to comment on a Flatiron blog post? Wendy is saying that she's heard responses on Twitter. So, all right. You know what? Steven, you bring up a good point.
Yeah, I was referring to the Flatiron blog itself, like where the Flatiron magazine, I should say. Twitter, I'm not surprised though.
By default, you can't, but I mean, you'd have to go in there and build in that functionality.
I'm going to bare my soul.
I think, Meg, doesn't yours have a comment form on it?
I have no idea. Honestly, I really don't. But like I said, I'm going to bare my soul. And let's go to my blog and see. So, I just clicked on, let me click on a shorter blog. Go back. There we go. let's go here. This is a shorter one. I do not believe, okay, so they don't have the option to comment on blogs, which is a good point, Stephen, that you bring up. And Wendy says that she has her Twitter account in her Learn account because she doesn't tweet about her posts, but they might have seen it through there. So it looks like for our, it's kind of built in. If we provide our information, you see how when I'm hovering over these, this has my learnco/meg-gutshaw, twitter.com/meg_gutshaw, and github/meg-gutshaw. And those are my social accounts here. So you may possibly have, let's see, lower account by tweet. So when your posts get published, they get published to, let's see, I will show you. It's like a magazine.
Right, but what I meant to say is that maybe those of you that have not heard from them on Twitter, it might be because you don't have your Twitter account in the Learn platform or something like that.
That could be it. That's definitely possible.
That makes sense. I don't have a Twitter account, and I'm not seeing any icon on my blogs either.
Yeah, you have to go into your learn.co profile and you link it up through that. You'll assign it to your account.
By the way, this guy, Matthew Sherman, Dish Buddy, the Sinatra Project, fantastic. I would highly recommend that you check this out if you are around this area. I mean, I'm not familiar with the JavaScript, not that far, but this was just really impressive to me. But whenever someone publishes a blog, it gets automatically compiled in the Learn magazine. So that's another way that Wendy, they might have access to your blog posts. And since you, whoa, hey, okay. Since you have provided your Twitter handle, they may be able to use that also as well. Like you said earlier. Let's see. Blog. Jesus. So blog settings. There's gotta be a place where you can put in your Twitter.
I think I found it, but it's not through the blog dashboard. So if you go to your account settings for Learn itself.
Okay.
This is just a guess, but I think it must get automatic. Your Twitter account probably gets automatically. Okay. Yeah, if you go to where it says Manage Account. Oh, there's the Twitter icon right there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you go to that icon that says Manage Account, and then go to where it says public profile. My guess is when you put your Twitter handle or Twitter information in there, maybe Learn just automatically adds it onto the blog.
I'm thinking you're probably right. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Twitter handle. So that's not the actual link to your Twitter profile, though, is it?
It's your username for Twitter, so they can find you with that. Yeah.
Because the handle, yeah, exactly. It's just your username.
I think you had to have done it before you had them create your blog, though, because I never did it till I was like almost done with the curriculum, and I added it. Then it doesn't show up on my old ones.
Oh, it doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay, so let us move into blah, 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 blah. I have like a whole kind of, sort of curriculum here. So the hosting. All right, so, okay, so before we move on to the hosting, we were talking about the blog ideas. Is anybody having troubles figuring out, because I know a lot of people I spoke with earlier were kind of like, yeah, I'm supposed to have all my blogs done by now, but I have one done. Is anybody having writer's block or just having trouble coming up with ideas, what to work on, or just kind of like, I'm in this for the code, I don't really want to write a blog? Is anybody feeling like that? Or
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, me too.
who was the me too? Sorry.
Babs.
Babs. All right, so Stephen and Babs. Anybody else feeling that? It's okay, don't be shy. We all feel like that at some point or another.
So I've always got writer's block with the blogs.
So can I be a stickler and charge you guys with an assignment? Can I say in the next 2 weeks, you three get together and have a brainstorm session, and maybe anyone that's in here that was too shy to just kind of reach out, we have a Code Talk channel, Slack channel. I'm putting it in, shoot, hold on. I'm putting it in the chat right now, Slack channel Code Talk. You three and anyone that might have been too shy to speak up, get together, and within the next 2 weeks, just come up with a topic on what to write about next for a blog post. Just a topic. Doesn't have to be a whole post, you know? You
Okay.
think you guys could do that?
Yep. I think more what I struggle with is not so much topic, but the actual implementation. Because that's what I was curious about hearing today. It's like if anyone's just like blog guru or really loves doing it. Does anyone really do, or has anyone really done like technology writing, or has it been more like project based? Like this is what I did on that.
Okay, so I actually have a really good article. Hold on, sorry.
I hate to interrupt, but could I actually interject something related to the Twitter thing earlier?
You may, Stephen.
I think I finally figured out where you connect your Twitter to your account. It's where it says connected apps, and then Twitter is one of the options. That's got to be it.
Yeah, that is how you connect it. It just doesn't like retroactively add it to your blog as an icon at the bottom, if that's what you're looking for.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
That's cool.
So then how do you connect the, is there even any way to update the blog settings with your Twitter account?
I think you'd actually have to go into the github.io file and your GitHub where they hosted at and actually change it. Like you'd have to probably add that in yourself now.
Oh, wow.
I'm making a note right now. I'm going to look into that.
Sounds good.
Retroactively connect Twitter to blog.
I'm pulling mine up real quick to see if there's like a easy to edit spot where they have that. It's probably like a template layout they have it on.
So, full disclosure, I'm really biased right here because, so I worked for a business to business digital marketing company, which is led by a female mentor who I've been in contact with for 3 years, I think now, and she's amazing. I've learned so much through her. And her newest post is about why to blog in 2019. And I think it's really helpful, especially one of the topics, one of the questions. So she interviewed the marketing director of a startup, and she asked how she structures her blogs. And she said that she determines her key bullet points. So what she wants to convey to her audience, she writes in bullet points. Then she writes a sentence for each point. That becomes the beginning of each paragraph in her blog. And then she researches and draws on expertise within her company to fill in the paragraphs. And I'm copying this link right now, and I will post it in the chat. Blogging in 2019. And I'll write all this stuff up in notes, and it'll be out tomorrow morning because it's late, and after this I am going to bed. Yeah, I work very closely with these women, so if you have any further questions or want to speak with me or any of them, you can contact me directly and I can get you in touch with them or answer any questions that I can answer. Especially what your favorite New Jersey Shore critter is, because I have quite a few answers on that, and that's the last question. So, yeah. She always
Jersey Shore character. Is that what I heard?
critter.
Oh.
She always throws like a little cute, fun question at the end. And I'm just like, okay.
I like the idea about the bullet point thing. I hadn't considered doing that for a blog post, but it's like making outlines and stuff. It's kind of the thing you do for essays. That may work.
Yeah. No, it's a great idea. It's like, okay, what do I want to convey to my readers? What's like the main points I want them to take away? This, and this. Okay, I'm taking these points. Now I need to expand these so people can understand them in layman's terms. So I'm going to create an opening sentence that's very easy to understand. Fill this paragraph with well-researched facts and close it with a sentence that's easy for people to understand. Like, that's basically how to write a very comprehensive blog post, because you don't want to get very technical unless you're writing specifically to an audience that's in the same industry that you exist in, or else they're just going to be lost. They're going to read the first paragraph and just be like, whatever, and go to the next email they have in their inbox. You know, you're going to lose them. Thanks, Mayceline. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything?
Maybe not that specifically, but how do you attach a photo to your blog thing? Like if you want, like in one of the blog posts, like if you want an image in there or something, I can't remember what the markdown is for that.
You just open.
Meg, you went into your repo, right? And like made a lot of changes in there.
Yes, I will tell you everything you need to know. Oh God, this is being recorded. God, I'm gonna share this with everyone now. Okay, so there is an amazing website. Yeah, I sidetracked because Brent was getting, or no, not Brent, Brad, sorry, Brad. Brad was getting me onto that earlier. There's an amazing website. I just posted it in the Slack chat, which will be available later to all those who are viewing the recording. It is GitHub flavored Markdown, and there's a table of contents. You can click on images and it shows you exactly how you can put images in there. GitHub flavored Markdown isn't as part of me feels like I haven't experimented with it enough. But what I've seen, it's not as flexible as I'd like, and I really hope that it is more flexible and I'm just being a dumbass. But we'll see.
It's a pretty handy little cheat sheet. I feel like I always use just pure HTML on mine and it worked fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to put like image tags in there and define style. I think the way it handles style is a little bit different between the two.
Yes.
What you got to look out for?
So GitHub, where the hell did this go? I just had it up earlier. Here we go. All right. So, sorry guys. So, let's move into, I feel like we covered some of the best practices as far as what to express in your blog posts. If anyone has any follow-up questions, you know, feel free to DM me at Meg_Gutschall on the Slack channel, megan.gutschall@gmail.com. Email me. The Flatiron blog hosting. So a lot of people do not realize this. So, you know how in the beginning you set up your blog, right? And Flatiron says, hey, we're going to get you a domain. Just pick your name. So I picked Feral Code Philly. I'm from Philly. I like animals. They're fucking crazy. So am I. Feral Code Philly. It made sense to me. You know? Ended up here. What happens is Flatiron takes the GitHub Pages username site. So it will take your GitHub username .github.io. This is a free hosting site available to all GitHub users. And since Flatiron connects with GitHub, you provide them your credentials. It uses that to publish your blog posts, and it uses the GitHub preferred I guess you'd call it like a framework, Jekyll, to format these pages. JEKYLL. We'll get to that a little bit later. But for right now, all of you have whatever your GitHub username is, .github.io. That is where your blog posts are hosted. Do you guys understand this? Do you have any questions?
I'm noticing that there's an image folder in there. Is that where we could store our images to then put into our posts?
That's correct.
Okay.
So,
Wait a minute, then how do you actually add an image to that folder? Or do you have to actually clone it and put it in there manually somehow?
so what I did was clone it down to my desktop, and I would add an image from my desktop into my clone folder and push it up to the GitHub repository.
Stephen, if you wanted to, you could also use like a free hosting service like Imgur and do it that way as well if you don't want to mess with cloning it.
Or you could go to the image folder and then click upload files and add another file.
Oh, that'd probably be easy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Meg.
Yeah.
By the way, since we're on this page and it was being talked about a little bit ago, I did figure it out. If you go to that config.yml file, all you got to do is add your Twitter handle in there and it automatically updates the template for you to include your Twitter, where it says Twitter username there. So if you don't have that on your blog already, just go to that file, add in your Twitter username, and then if you go to the bottom, you can just type in a commit message and it will just push it and then you're good. It'll load after a couple minutes, you'll start seeing it. Their
Nice.
template already accounts for having a Twitter handle, so once you do that, it will automatically go.
And does that account for backlog too?
Yeah, their templates are using this file for some of that information. So like if you go back to the main repo and go to layouts, we're, oh, sorry, I think it's in a different folder. Go back.
Sorry?
Go back one more time. I think it's in a different folder. I'm trying to remember where the footer was. It's either in posts or includes. There it is, footer. So there's some conditional logic in there. You see if site.twitter username. So it's pulling it out of that
Yeah.
YML file. So you don't need to do anything other than just add in your Twitter username and that config.yml and you're good.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So, okay. So we're moving into more advanced things. So, all right. So basically, okay, this is an overview. I'm gonna just hit you with it. If you got questions, interrupt me, shout out, put something in the chat. I got it up. We're all good. GitHub Pages, which is what Flatiron uses to host the student blogs. GitHub Pages is a static site that hosts, it's a hosting service designed to host personal pages directly from a GitHub repository. So since it's static, it does not support PHP, Ruby, or Python. Sorry, I just saw Brad's comment. He's a snorty old dog next to him. It's probably a French bulldog, right? Or a pug.
Boston Terrier, a gigantic Boston Terrier.
Yes, okay. Just a smushed face dog. I love those. Okay, so it's served over HTTPS, so it's secure, which means Google will rank that shit up in its SEO rankings. Good for us. It can't be larger than 1 gigabyte. So a blog will be okay. You can't use it for like a merchant site, a business, anything that's high traffic. No good. And it automatically will grab your GitHub username, like the automatic URL is your GitHub username. So for example, meg-gutschall.github.io. But when you began with Flatiron, if you signed up for Jesus, what did I sign up for? They call it software engineering now. I don't even remember what. Full stack. That's what they called it when I signed up for it. They had a option to pick your own domain name. So I picked Feral Code Philly. Here in the CNAME file, all you do is include your domain name. Domain name. I don't know. It's really confusing. Try to say that 5 times fast. You'll feel me. Anyway, you put that in there, and it acts as a redirect for. So I could put meg-gutshaw.github.io. It'll go to my blog site. It'll go to this site. I'll show you guys right now. GitHub.io. See, it automatically redirects to feralcodephilly.com. So that's basically what CNAME does. It acts as a redirect file. And I believe Flatiron covers this for a year. And if you want to maintain this after a year, you have to take over that. And you have to contact them or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what all goes into that.
They acquire the domains through a service called Namecheap. If you go to namecheap.com, you can get into your account. You should have gotten the credentials when you signed up for the program.
Namecheap. Okay. All right.
But yeah, that's where it's being hosted through. So you can actually go in there and you'll see where they've linked it up, and it should have like your information. Then you'll see some stuff from like Avi and some other things tied back to Flatiron. That's what I was curious about, if anyone's actually read or use a different repo for their Namecheap account.
I actually. Where am I? I have a ton of domains in Namecheap already.
Wait, mind if I ask who Dahlia Summers is?
That's me. What? My favorite flower, my favorite season.
Ah, okay.
I'm a basic bitch.
Wait, you've written in BASIC?
Yeah. You'll get it. Just look on Urban Dictionary. Basic bitch. You'll get it. Yeah, so I think they'll transfer it over to you after a year.
You've if you go through your emails, you should have an email about it. But I'm trying to remember how they set it up. It's something like your name and Flatiron, because you can get in there and access it now. But yeah, I think they pay for it for at least a year.
Okay.
I've never messed with hosting outside of that though. But do you have repos linked? I assume you have a repo linked up to those. That's what I've been curious about. Is like if we wanted to use the one they provided us and switch repos, if anyone had done that.
Well, if you switch a repo, it's just a project. So, hold on a second. So the GitHub page, they have project pages, they have user pages, organization pages, and project pages. And the user and organization pages are a lot more robust than project pages. So I think you'd probably be a lot better off creating a user page and having your projects kind of anchored, like nested within your user page. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it.
Yeah, I think you lost me there. You're saying like, is it like a different sort of repo you're creating?
Yeah, so, okay, hold on. Okay, so I don't want to get into it now just because it's like, it looks pretty complicated, but I will post up all these resources that I have after our session, and you'll be able to look into it a lot more. And I think you'll see what I'm able to see. And if not, like, we can talk about it more afterwards. But we only have a few minutes left, so I wanted to get to a little bit of the customization before we are done. And just like to check in with everybody, did anybody have any specific questions before we move on?
Just one for clarification. I think you mentioned this earlier. I just wanted to make sure I heard you right. So it's not possible to add a back-end thing to our websites even through Learn right now, like our projects. Sorry, did that make any sense at all?
So since GitHub are static pages, we cannot do that, but I'm going to make a note because one of my contacts, he hosted a project through Heroku and was able to like display it in an iframe in a GitHub, in one of the views in like his GitHub page website. So and that's one thing I'm gonna fuck with Heroku this weekend and get my Sinatra up on there, because I got a lot of people that I told I was gonna share it with. So if I don't get to it this weekend, I'll definitely email him and ask him about it and get back to you. And I'll post this all on Code Talk. And forgive me if I already put this out, but I'm really good at spamming people. Slack channel, Code Talk. Yeah, I'll keep you posted, let you know what's up. Brad said it took a little bit. It's a good learning experience. He sucks at typing.
Truth.
Cool. It's almost 10, so you know. Yeah, so I will follow up on that. Keep posted on the Code Talk Slack channel. and we were going to go into a little bit about the customization. Okay. Boom. Feral code filler. This is my Flatiron blog. It don't look like yours, does it? That's on purpose. You don't want to blend in with other people. I'm telling you right now, all right? You know, like,
It's cute.
oh, stop it. You know, Flatiron has, you know, these like, oh yeah, we're working on it, we're making things happen, we're programming images, but as far as a lot of people go into these coding boot camps from non-traditional experiences. A lot of people, and this may not be your case. If it's not, that's totally okay. I encourage you to speak to other people who it is their case and learn from them. And, you know, when it comes down to it, trust your gut, because that's what's going to lead you down the right path. But what I found is a lot of people I've met in the Flatiron program have been in other situations and have decided to take a different path and have come to this. So they've already formed their opinions of the working world. They've already formed their opinions of who they are, what they want to be, where they want to go. They have their ideal set in mind. And so this, I'm going to sound like a real salesperson right now, but this all wraps into a brand. It's a brand. It's your personal brand. And my brand is Feral Code Philly. It's purple. It's bright. It's pink and blue and Philly. Philly's full of color and diversity and creativity and food, and the feral encompasses like wildness, and I'm a pet sitter, so there's animalistic type of flavors in there. And it's just, I tried to find something that would describe me best, and that's what I went with. Like, give me just a sec. Where the hell is my card? I even got business cards. Hold on, I'm looking at the screen. Sorry, it's reversed, I know. But that's my business card.
Meg, I think you've just been insulted.
Oh, Paula. Whatever, Paula. Come see me. I got a room for you. You can come stay with me at
I
my
haven't been to Philly in a long time. It didn't used to be colorful, so I'm glad it is now. It used to be kind of gritty, but interesting.
Gritty is our Flyers mascot. Thank you very much. You squeeze his belly button and it squeaks, and when he gets pissed off, steam comes out of his ears.
But wait a minute, isn't Philadelphia the city of brotherly love?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say, but we'll give you some fucking shit if you deserve it.
That's right.
Paula, you come visit anytime. I will give you an excellent tour, and
I used to come down there a lot.
you will.
Does the Painted Bride still exist?
Huh?
Painted Bride Art Center? You ever heard of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I used to come a lot for stuff there.
Hmm.
But other than that,
Anyway.
anyway, yes, you got your brand going on. I know. I'm jealous of you and your brand. I don't know how to brand. I'm not good at that. I'm just me. This whole branding thing, man.
Oh,
Too much.
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. See you, Wendy. Sorry, I'm just blabbing. I know. You can catch the rest on the whatever, the recording.
That was kind of my fault. I started going off on a tangent here.
So, so Paula, you just saying I'm just me is the best response, though, because that's what you want. You want to be just you. You want to identify what is just you and kind of hone in on that. And
I think we got to clean up just me a little bit.
and then just kind of like figure that out.
We're losing the audience very quickly.
That's okay. That's why we're recording this. And you figure that out, you identify that, you introspect it, and then you run with it. You fully commit to it. You unapologetically commit to it. And you just be you, man.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what color you pick or what feral code Philly. Like, seriously, I was just like, I don't know. This sounds good. Whatever. Let's go with it. But I could have just picked, I have a business and I named it Megan Gutchall because I couldn't figure out anything else. Like, it's really whatever you want it to be. And what matters is that you represent who you are. You incorporate this in your blog posts. And this is where it comes into the customization. You know, if you want to change your headers, there's different things you can do. You can do, hold on a second. So this is my home /bg.png. And what I did was upload, I went on, I looked at my GitHub repo and said, okay, what's the measurements of the picture they have right here? I'm gonna get my picture, get those measurements, upload it, name it the same thing, just replace it. And then this is what happened. About same thing. Oh, oops. Just replaced it with a different photo. All you gotta do is.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is the site where they post our blogs. It's part of our repo, part of our GitHub site.
Correct. So it is your
I see.
GitHub username .github.io.
I see.
And inside the IMG folder are the images and the about or dash BG and home dot dash BG are what are used in the layouts.
Mhm.
So what GitHub uses for, so this is your GitHub page uses Jekyll, and Jekyll has these, as Brad had pointed out earlier, it has these sections where you can design a footer,
Mhm.
a head, and a nav. So you don't have to repeat these things in each page.
Mhm.
Like, it'll stay static. And you can assign different things to different pages. So this is actually, let's see. So the footer is actually the social icons, the GitHub icon, Twitter, Facebook,
Mhm.
and the head is all the metadata. And nav. Okay, so the nav is the home, and then it has this variable page title. So basically, if you add another page, it'll add it to the nav.
Mm.
All right, hey everybody. This is the Code Talks Flatiron blog part 2. There are a few things that I realized that I didn't cover last night that I wanted to cover. So I'm just gonna real quickly go through them and hopefully go over just a couple things that have yet to be covered. I took a few notes from last night. And most of it was about the CSS customization. Yeah, towards the end, I was getting really tired. I was looking at it, I'm just like, oh man, I look tired and I sound tired. So, but this morning I'm pepped up, ready to go. Had some tea, so I got a little caffeine in me. So I wanted to show you guys something that I just discovered, which is pretty cool, I think. I'm going to show it locally and on our GitHub repo, because some of you may want to clone down the blog and work on it locally. I've done that and I feel like it's a lot easier to do that personally. Let's see. Creating your snub. I'm trying to find, yeah, this is a good one. I want to find a good example to show you guys of what I'm talking about. Okay, JS, so this guy's got to be pretty far along. Oops, not what I wanted. There we go. All right. Here we are. So you see how we have these excerpts at on the home page. That's a pretty cool title, by the way, Mr. Roland Metzger. Shout out to your awesome title. What it's set up to do is automatically take the first chunk, the first paragraph, and use it as your excerpt on the homepage where all the blogs are listed. But you see here, it's just there. His first paragraph is a header. So that's all it takes, just the header. And I ran into this problem a lot because right here, project idea, that was my header, and it had just the header. So I looked into it. I went and did some research about it for GitHub through the GitHub Pages docs. Well, actually, it wasn't through the GitHub Pages docs. It was through posts, because pages and posts are different with Jekyll. And that's something to remember when you're looking through this stuff and wanting to customize your blog. So they have a lot of really good information in here. There could be more, I'm not gonna lie, but it was hard for me to kind of figure out how to do this, because they had the excerpt separator. So basically you would put in you'd declare this excerpt separator in that header information, and then you'd insert this into your post where you wanted the excerpt stop. So maybe he could have done that and put the excerpt separator here. So that's one workaround. But for mine, like, okay, so what if I didn't want this to be my excerpt? This is just one paragraph in a long post about creating my project, right? So I went to the one resource that knows all, Google, and looked around and found that you can put in this, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but to me, it looks kind of, it's like akin to the head of a HTML file that's filled with the metadata. So I'm going to call it the metadata. So you can put an excerpt field in this metadata space and then insert your own excerpt, whatever you want. For this to work, it has to be enclosed in HTML tags. I just use paragraph tags. I did try it without tags and it wasn't processing correctly. And you'll know because I'll show you how it looks on here. Just a quick review. This is your Flatiron blog. Flatiron hosts your blog through the GitHub user page. You get a GitHub page. Each user gets a GitHub page. And so since when you sign up for Flatiron, you give them your GitHub credentials to get all connected. That's what they use to host your blog since it's free. This folder here, _posts, this is where all your posts are located. So here it is. So if you have your metadata laid out correctly, it will display like this in this kind of table layout. If you wanted to, if you don't have a local environment set up, you can easily just go on into your blog repository on GitHub and click the pencil to edit and do the same thing in here and scroll down and add a commit message and commit the changes. There isn't, you don't have these options here when you go to learn to write a blog. They have theirs set up a little differently. And honestly, I think it's just, oh, hey. I think it's just to make it easier for you to do. Oh, that's nice. If you didn't know that, you press the question mark and markdown guide. Boom. So basically what happens is if you want, you can do this. You can write out your blog post on here like normal and then publish it. And you know how it'll take a little bit for the post to go through and then to show up on your blog page. And that's just because GitHub isn't super robust as far as a hosting domain. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be just like for personal small sites. So once you, here, let's do this. New blog. And then I'm just going to do that. New blog post. Oh my goodness. Ooh, hey. I actually have something that I can use for this. Slip some. Oh yeah. They want some motherfucking content. There we go. So it'll be published here shortly. Cancel. Let's see. It's here already. So, oh, look at that, publishing post. So it's working on it right now. But we can go in and see it has already automatically generated this table just because of the code that's included in the Jekyll template setup. So I can go in and I'm actually gonna edit title. So, L. Jackson blog post. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this up because it's probably not good. Oh wait, is that underscores? Yeah, it was. But come on, it's Samuel L. He's like basically an American hero, right? All right, and then excerpt. I'll do created this post while recording a code talk video. Ooh, ooh, code talk. Oh yeah. All right. So change title and add excerpt. All right. So commit changes. There we go. That'll take a minute. I am snoozing my notifications on Slack. There we go. And hey, look at that. Hey, here we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. So just covered blog excerpts. Another thing that I wanted to cover was Jekyll. So Jekyll is, I'm going to be honest, I haven't explored it as much as I'd like, but it looks like it has, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. So this is the default layout. We have the head, the nav, the content, and then the footer. This is pretty easy to understand because there's these HTML tags. The liquid tag is used to inject content into the web page. So it's kind of similar to the yield, which we used in, well, which I used in Sinatra. I haven't gotten much further than that, so probably comes later too, right? I don't know. And then it's talking about includes are the partials that can be mixed and matched by your layouts to facilitate and reuse. The liquid tag can be used to include the partial. So these are for the partials. This is to inject content. Got it? Good. So now we have this layout, this default layout wraps around our page layout. So we're adding this into the page header, and it just looks like they're using Bootstrap here. The container, row, column, and here's some more, here's like conditional phrasing, and then some more injection liquid tags. And then same down here. Here's where the site header comes into play. So intro header, background image. So it uses it takes the site base URL and puts it there, / and then if the page has a header image, then put that there. Else put the site header image. Cool. And then our post layout, which is much the same, except we have the page title and subtitle in the header, then the content, and then the previous and next buttons down here. So that's the layouts. And then Brad, we went over this a little earlier too. I don't think we need to readdress this. And Brad was talking about the footer where we had these social media icons. So these are constant throughout the website. The includes, so these are the partials and the layouts. Now, the posts, you may have noticed this earlier, you assign that post into the layout right here. And for our pages, so we don't have like a folder for that. They're actually just in here. So the index is our home page, and that has the layout page. So this is for post in paginator.posts. So this goes through and iterates basically over all of our posts and displays them, the title, if it has a subtitle, and then the excerpt with metadata, so the author and date. And then the paginator at the end, and they put, or not paginator, the page, new or older, They include that here because this isn't a post layout, it's a page layout. So if you remember, this newer posts and older posts was included only in the post layout. I want to show you guys something. So in that config.yaml file, this is where you can add your social media accounts. You can add Twitter, GitHub. You could also add Facebook too, if you want to put Facebook _ username. I hardly ever go on mine, so it's no point. You can change your copyright name. You can, so if I wanted to make it Feral Code Philly, I could change that. The header image, this is the site header image. So if you don't have a header image declared, this is what it defaults to. And if you wanted to change your header image for a specific post or page, this is what you would put in the metadata. You do that, and then you'd put this relative link in there. But here, paginate, by default, this is 5, but I changed it to 8 because I thought 5 was not enough. So you'll notice that I don't have any arrows, but I'm going to change it to 6 now. Paginate, yeah, to 6. And then, oh yeah, it'll take a little bit to load, but and then these are just files that they're saying not to display, because you don't want that stuff on your site. Those are kind of like, you keep them in the back. The subpath of your site. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, sorry guys. So an example about the header image. So for my about page, I have a different header image. So I included that here. And let's see if that, there we go. So now I have this, and I can click on older posts and go back there. And when I click on about, it has a different image there. Okay, and now just covering how I changed up the colors, and that was all I wanted to cover. And I did go into it last night, but I cut that part out because I got completely lost inside my CSS file. So, woo. Here we go. So you have an example right here. I wanted to be able to make have a special text to display code. And so, or not a special text, but like a special highlighting. So I have these colors for my brand, which is obvious right here. You can see them. So what I did was I took this bluish green and then found a shade that was like super light, but still noticeable. And I went and inserted this custom CSS right here. So when you're talking text, color is the color of the text. And then background color, obviously, is that highlight. It's like a highlight because it's background color of the text. My link, my hyperlinks, I made pink, and when I hover, they're something. Oh, that color. The powered by learn, I changed the color of that. Don't even have to have it there, but we'll keep it. Nav bar. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with CSS, getting in there, playing around. What you could really do, so, sorry guys, I didn't even show you. So what you want to do when, what you want to do if you want to change up any colors or fonts or anything like that, go into clean-blog.css and make the changes there. Bootstrap is your structuring of the blog, and it makes it responsive so that when your screen gets resized, it still keeps it readable. The CSS here mainly deals with colors and font sizing and line heights in navigation. Let's see. And they have a few media query things in here too, but it looks like that's all the nav bar. Okay, the intro header. Here we have these class declarations, intro header, site heading. So that's for the whole site. Intro header post heading, that's the heading for specific posts. And then intro header page heading, that's for any page, anything that's a layout. So like that corresponds to the layouts that we just went over. So I went and created this and added padding in to kind of position the header where I wanted it in relation to my image, my header image. Normally you could just center it, but since mine's like a skyline, I kind of wanted it to sit in a certain spot on here. And I wanted to add a sort of glow around the words because just the pure white would get lost in the background. There's even a little bit of a glow right here too. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely noticeable without it. And I'll show you that in a little bit, but just want to show you in here. You do that by adding a text shadow. So this is the horizontal shadow. 1 pixel horizontally. So a positive number horizontal is like right edged, or you could put a negative number and that'll go left edged. Vertically, it'll go up for positive or down for negative. So I picked like positive numbers and then a blur of 5 for all of them. And I will show you, we'll inspect this page and you'll see what I mean. All right, and it's easier to see because it has like the little color splashes in here too. So I'm gonna pump this up a little bit. I'm gonna do 3, oops. 5 and 10. It's kind of ridiculous, but and then we'll do a blur of, actually no, that's good. 5, 10, 20. So you see how like just changing certain things can make it, this is almost solid here. Like if I had a blur of 0, it's just a shadow reflecting off of it. And then it's just offset by 10. Oh, you know what? It looks like 10 is down. I mean, positive is down, sorry. So negative is up. Negative 10. But that's like a cool, handy kind of thing you can do to kind of try something different. Ooh, ooh. And I did the same thing with the about page too. So right there. Oh, and then the one last thing here. So this, don't do this. I mean, I did it, but it's a bad practice. But I kind of did it as a temporary fix. And I'll show you why you shouldn't do this. But for my about page, I wanted to have something eye-catching and then put a little more about myself. So what I did, I'll show it on here because it's easier to read on here. Where are you? There we go. So what I did was used inline CSS here. It's not recommended that you do this. It's always better to put, my personal opinion, it's always better to put CSS in a separate CSS file. Since this is color changing, it's a little different. What I think a better alternative would be, think of just like some sort of name you could call it. Assign this class here, like class equals about text, and then put this CSS, create an about text class with this CSS, and then create classes that have these colors for the text. And so then do span class blue, span class teal, span class purple, span class pink, something like that. That's a better alternative. And actually, I'm probably going to clean that up right now. But I like the way it looks. So, yep. And yeah, I guess that's it, you guys. If anyone has questions, DM me on Slack, or you can leave a comment on the video. I'm gonna put the notes for the session in the description of the video too, and my contact info. So just reach out, and good luck with your blog posts, and good luck with your learning journey. All right.